for a £200 something job, I lost thousands. Dealers said they've serviced this vehicle. Do you think they've serviced it? So today we are going to be talking about how important it is to be fitting OE quality matching parts on your vehicle. And if you don't fit them, it can compromise you. Believe me. We are also going to be talking about all the benefits that you'll get when you fit OE quality matching parts from known manufacturers, such as Febby. But what's more important is, does it actually fit even if it's an aftermarket part? In this video, yes, we are going to be covering what is different between OE quality matching parts and OE spec parts. We're going to be talking about that. So let's get fitting. Let's start with servicing this vehicle right here. You probably know this place already. We've been here probably about 4 times already doing a service for their car. This one here replacing the bushing for the subframe, and also we replaced an exhaust gas temperature sensor in this. At one point, this vehicle here, we replaced it was the rear diff that we replaced. But anyway, let's get started and let's start talking about it. Let's go. So for the air filter on this vehicle, we are going to be using Blueprint Car Parts air filter, purely because I know that this is OE quality. When I say OE quality, it's exactly the same as it would come if it was from the manufacturer. For example, in this term, it's going to be from Nissan. It is going to be exactly the same. That's what it means by OE quality. And also, if it's just an OE spec, you're going to find that it's a lower standard, if that makes sense. Specification is just the minimum requirement for any products that's in the market. Specification is the lowest limit, and the OE quality is the quality that is added to that spec. I hope I'm making sense here. So let's get this fitted. I'm a big fan of using top-notch components like Febby, Blueprint and MAN filters in my videos. I want to help my viewers understand the difference between good and bad products, so they can make smart choices when it comes to keeping the cars in top shape. For this vehicle, the cabin filter is located right in there, look. Right in there. I've just opened it up a little bit. I promise you, it is there. That grey looking thing right there. Buried deep inside. You love to see it. And this is exactly the reason why, folks. This is exactly the reason why people don't want to change cabin filters. Mechanics. Because, look at this. Look how small this is, yeah? Once I get the cabin filter out, you will see how massive it is to go into a hole this small. Look at this. This is grim. This is originally from Nissan. As you can see right there, it says Nissan on it. This cabin filter was actually made in 2013. You can just about see the tag right there. Can you see it? It says 0313. So it was manufactured in 2013 and the vehicle is 2017. So from what you can see here, it's never been replaced. You can see all the grim stuff and it's gone brown. This is what it should look like. This is exactly what I mean by OE quality. Again, we are replacing it with Blueprint, and as you can see here, yes, it is carbon activated, just like this one here. As you can see, brown and brown, grey to grey, but obviously this one is grim now because it's never been replaced. As you can see, it's black on the inside and you can actually see like hair and other stuff inside in there. So this is what it should look like, the grey side. Like what I said, using Blueprint and Febby just gives me the confidence when fitting parts, because I know that I'm basically fitting the same exact thing from manufacturer, saving money for my customer as well, because it's going to be a lot cheaper compared to when you buy it from dealership. So yeah, let's get this fitted. This is the cover, so this is the hole. Basically this goes over the hole, and look at that. Look at the size difference on that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why would they do that? Look, that means I will have to somewhat fold it like this to plunk it in there. Let's fit it in. There you go. And then got to crawl underneath. Manufacturers often make it hard for technicians to replace cabin filters, and many wonder why even dealership technicians don't replace them. Right, okay, obviously on the service we have to replace the oil filter. So we're going to be dropping the oil. 3, 2, 1. Whilst I'm waiting for that oil to drain, obviously we're going to be replacing it again with the oil quality matching part. This is from Blueprint again, and let me just talk to you about why it is important to be replacing it from a well-known company, that oil filter. Say for example that if this filter was to collapse, Blueprint will then do an investigation, right, as to why it's happened, and if it is actually a manufacturing fault and it caused your engine to die because it collapsed, what would happen then is they would back you up and actually help you with the replacement of the engine. And I actually covered that in this video, I believe. Which way? This way or that way? Can't remember, but yes, I covered that on that video. And a representative from Blueprint, Ben Walton, has actually explained the whole procedure. If it is their fault, if it is the filter's fault, for example, they will help you obviously replace the engine or any other things that they can help you with, just so that, you know, they can correct the mistake or whatever. But they have 99.999 something success rate with their products, and hardly any is returned, believe it or not. So yeah, let's go and fit this. And that is also the reason why I feel safe when fitting Blueprint and Fairby parts, because I know that if something was to go wrong, I'm not just gonna be left in the dark. Yeah, let that drip out for now. Whilst that's draining out, taking the oil filter out now. It's actually dripped out of the thingy. But look at this. That is... Oh, never mind. So the last person seems like he knows what he's fitting. So this is actually another Blueprint, as you can see there. Just about see that it says Blueprint on it. So this definitely had a service before and didn't change the cabin filter. That's insane. I can understand, but yeah, as you can see there, this is a Blueprint car parts one. The oil pressure in this is pretty high, and as you can see, it is actually reinforced. And with Nissan, it actually comes like this, really the same. Yeah, we're going to be fitting that in, and we're going to be changing the gasket as well. Yes, I know, right? This is the wrong tool for the job. I can't be asked to go in there in the drawer, because it's kind of like I have to stand up and then do all of that stuff. Now what I do, instead of using oil, I actually put red rubber grease all around it instead, because I think personally that red rubber grease can actually protect that gasket from corroding. You know, when it starts splitting. Here's a picture on the screen, I'll show you. Yeah, like that. In my personal opinion, that's that, but traditional way doesn't harm either, you know, just putting oil around it. But I prefer red rubber grease. So let's plug this into the vehicle. Let's go. Also want to let you know that I have cleaned inside that, yeah, with brake cleaner. As you can see, it's really nice and clean in there now, so we can safely put the new filter in. Oh, if you're wondering what John is, by the way, he is away on a pussycat holiday again. He's always on holiday. Very lucky for him, isn't it? I'm never on holiday. I will be soon. Right, 25 Newton meters for that one. And I'm assuming about 25 Newton meters for the sun plug as well. Always change that copper ring as well. Always. And also, as it says on the tin, 25 Newton meters. That's what it says. That's what we're gonna follow. There you go. Happy days. Let's go and replace the brakes on these because it's warped. Obviously, you need OE quality matching oil as well. Well, any brand that you think is good anyway, except for the obvious. The cheap ones, the cheaper it is, the worse it is, in my opinion. Right, so obviously I've used the liquid moly right over here for this vehicle. So it's a 5W30 Nissan something, whatever the specification for it. But as you know, liquid moly, they do their research. There's loads of additives that they put on that just to make sure that the engine is running as smooth as possible. Now we're going to move on to replacing the brakes, because I will show you why we're replacing it. And you can see it here, it's fairly new. The graying of it, it's still there, but there is a problem. Not on this side, but the other side. Check here again. You can see it there, that is rusty and very like golden brown-ish in color, and that tells me that it's been through heat soak. Brake binding is when the brake pads get stuck in semi or full brake position. When that happens, the brake disc gets super hot and turns brown as you drive. The main causes are seized caliper pins, which can prevent the caliper from moving back and forth, seized brake pads, which can cause the brake pads to get stuck in brake position, or seized caliper, which can also keep the brake pad in braking position. I'm not sure which one of the three is causing the issue, so let's go and find out. Let's go, let's get to it! Did you see that? I just stripped on my own laces. Safety first. To replace the brake disc, we'll need to remove the brake pad carrier. First, we'll loosen the two rear bolts that hold it in place. Then, we'll loosen the caliper bolts to free the brake pads. Look at how thick the brake pads are. They're pretty insane. Like these on you. Blueprint as well, so whoever's replaced it before, it wasn't me. It's likely that they didn't check the pins on either side because too early for it failing. To be fair, these are quite stiff. Like, that is all the movement that I can get. The top one doesn't even move. So yeah, this one is likely to be effed as well. When replacing brake pads and discs, it is important to clean the surfaces where brake pads and discs were made. Start with the hub face, then clean the new brake disc to remove any oil residue. Finally, clean the brake pad carrier to prevent pads from sticking. Right, apologies everyone, my main camera had died. Now I have to use this. Yeah, we're going to be replacing this side, and I will show you in a minute the difference that it's got between this side and that side. I've already finished that side, so yeah, let's go and replace this one. Just by removing the wheel on this side, I could already tell that the previous technician had missed something very basic, but yet something very important. As I wasn't doing the caliper bolt. Look at it. Can you see why it's seized in place? Boot, no boot. Boot, no boot. Heat soak, because of that. Why did they not put a boot on it? Oh! Look at it, look at it. So instead of putting a boot in it, they've put copper grease in there. And as you already know, copper grease is a no-no for the brakes. Blimey! Why, people? Why? Huh? Ay nako. Look at it. Look at it, yeah? I can't, like, you can turn it like that. You can't go in and out. Why? Why you do this? God's sake. I'm not pretending, you know. This is actually like seized in there. That one is also tough. This one is. Oh, I gotta let the customer about this because I might not be able to do something about this, because you can see it there where the boot goes. It's actually perished. Just there. That piece there. You might not be able to see it with this camera, but you just have to trust me. It's perished. Done. Come out then. I want to help you. You just need to come out so I can help you. Mate, brakes is like the easiest job you can possibly do on a car, except for changing air filters. Come on lad, what are you, apprentice? Just one budge. It's moving. Oh, it's coming out, it's coming out. Nice and slow, it's taking its time. I think what's happened, because at the end of these things there is like a rubber, and I think that thing is perished inside. Oh. Yeah, I thought so. This was forced in when it was dirty. Look, camera is bad, but have a look at that. Perished. That's why you don't use copper grease, yeah, on brakes. It literally destroys rubber, so don't do it. Yeah, look, destroyed. That means I have to clean the top one because I have a feeling that they've used copper grease. Let's have a look. Oh, they didn't touch this one. That's good. Look, it's actually got some sort of grease on it that isn't copper grease. Rubber grease is good for this, but I would recommend using alternative. I do use rubber grease though still. I will be using that just to show it. It is okay. This one isn't though. We're going to need a new pin for this one because I had to annihilate it, as you can see. And this one, it's not really going to seal properly anymore. We have to order one from Nissan or any motor factors if they've got it. And the boot as well for it. We're going to have to clean that one, the inside of this. Right, so I have just spoken to the customer and he was actually next to me whilst I was trying to call my suppliers to find out if we have got anything like a sliding pin for this vehicle. Called Nissan, they said 2 to 3 days. My suppliers, none of them would stock it. One of the guys even said that his dad's got the same problem and it took about 2 to 3 days Nissan to get it in. And he's actually going on holiday this weekend. Friday, that's one day. Saturday they don't deliver, so we'll be looking at Monday, Tuesday, latest the Wednesday that we could get the sliding pin in. Not ideal. So I'm gonna do what I'm not supposed to do, which is to basically budge this back in there, clean it as much as I can, and then put a lot of lube in there just so that it slides in and out as a temporary fix, because I need to come back here anyway to replace his ball joint because that one's got an excessive movement on it. Don't hate me, he just needs his car for the weekend unfortunately, but that is the only thing that can get him out of this situation. Let's clean where this pin goes just to reduce the friction so that it allows it to slide in and out. Not ideal. He's gonna come back anyway, so let's get started. So I've cleaned it as much as possible and as you can see it slides in and out. Not ideal because it's actually got a rubber bit on it like a boot, but it's swollen, and that's why if I was to try and fit it in there it just will not move. Look, now, I don't really want to force it in. This is not ideal. You should not do this unless you're coming back to redo the job. It's just so that they can use it. I'm gonna warn him that there is going to be maybe a little bit of wobble in it and a little bit of noise because of that little rubber boot. It's gonna be missing. I can't put it in. This is just a temporary thing, like what I said, because I'm coming back here to replace this ball joint. That's got a substantial amount of move. But anyway, that's not important. I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up with rubber grease and hope for the best. Like what I said, this is going to be the budge of the century. So to be honest, it's actually working better than I thought. It actually feels like there's a rubber boot in there, which is amazing. You probably saw in the previous clip of when I was replacing that side that this here, the disc and pads, is actually from Blueprint car parts. And obviously the very main issue, the reason why the first guy who's touched these brakes, or renewed the brakes anyway, that touched this, is because apparently it was sticking. Right? Sticking. It's because of this bloody pin, and he didn't even sort it out. And now I am literally here picking up his dirty pieces and correcting all of them. Are we quality matching parts? It stood the test of time. I think it was about 6 to 8 months ago when that disc and pads was replaced, and it's only happened quite recently when it started like warping again. So yeah, good quality parts is always a must, and that's why I use Blueprint car parts. And hopefully by the time he comes back from holiday, it's not seized in place or even warped like what happened to this one anyway. Using quality parts is a good start. However, it is also important to be installing it correctly to ensure that you're taking advantage of that quality. And check this out. No stickiness there, it actually bounces back and forth, which is good. That is a good sign that everything is freely moving. Cool. Well, on that end anyway, because we still have this to deal with later on down the line. Now it's time to torque down this 145 Newton meters, I believe. That's a good thing, it's actually popping out. You guys keep an eye on this pin and let me know if it's going to move in and out or not, because I'm going inside and I'm going to step on the brake to see if our bodge job worked. Put it down in the comment section if it moved. Like what I said, guys, it's not ideal to be doing that, okay? But we are coming back here, right? It's a bodge job, I admit to it, okay? But it's temporary fix to help my customer get back on the road, because they need to go on holiday and he can't get a refund for that holiday because this is the only car that they can use for that holiday. Alright? Please don't hate me. I'm coming back here to rectify it, I promise. So for now we are done with this vehicle here, so follow me and we are going to be servicing a Renault Master. So let's go. And just like that, we are now here on the next job. Again, another full service on this Renault Master. Like what I said, we are going to be using a full Bryanstone kit to replace all of the filters on this vehicle, and also we're going to be using the oil. And yes, it's OE quality matching, and as you can see there, it is for Renaults. You're probably wondering, Febby do oil? Yes, they do. As you know, like what I said, OE quality matching parts with Febby, same with the filters and stuff like that. And you can probably see it here on one of the, he's a good Instagram mechanic as well. It's called Ben. He only uses the timing chain kit from Febby because it is OE quality matching. In fact, it is actually better than the OE. So as you can see here, the timing chain guides is completely different to what Renault would normally fit in their vans, and the reason why they start slipping, and not slipping, the timing starts jumping, is because it doesn't have this little blue guide, a little support. And in my opinion, that is a better part. So yeah, it's OE quality matching, so that's what we're going to be fitting. So let's get started. When doing a service, it is always a good practice to start draining the oil first. This way the oil can drain as much as possible whilst you're doing other stuff, such as doing the air filter, cabin filter and fuel filter. Just to let everyone know as well, I am not sponsored by Febby. I just think that their parts are really good. Same with other filters like MAN, Bosch, they're all good. It is very important they use OE quality matching parts, not the cheap ones. Please never go for a cheap one, because I made that same mistake, and because I made that mistake, I got in trouble. The engine on a Vauxhall Zafira before, I once serviced, the oil filter collapsed, and here it has caused a lot of damage on a vehicle. Let's just say I needed to replace the engine just because I serviced it. For a 200 something pound job, I lost thousands to replace an engine. I lost thousands and also my hours. That's why I do not advocate for anything that is cheap online. You buy cheap once, you buy it twice, or worse, you replace an engine. Pretty basic as that. But anyway, gotta remove this air filter now. So the customer just recently bought this van, and he's had loads of issues with it, like the EGR, for example. I diagnosed that's gone wrong, and now he's starting to smell something eggy inside, right? Well, you know, fumey inside, and then the DPF light comes on, etc, etc. They also said, the dealer said, that they have serviced this van before they gave it to him. It's a 2021 plate, right? 71 plate, so 2022. This air filter here is made on 05/10/22. 05/10/22 at 6:25 in the evening. That's when this was made. Dealers said they've serviced this vehicle. Do you think they've serviced it? Does it look like it's been serviced? No, I don't think so. Look at this. That's not been serviced. What the hell is this? That's not serviced. This is what clean filter looks like. This is a clean air filter. This, if I put that on and someone takes it out 6 months later, they'll be like, yeah, it's just been recently serviced. Because look, it's clean, like, it's been serviced. Now it's been serviced. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's put this back in. Do you put an air freshener on an air intake filter. I'm joking, don't do that. Don't do that. It will suffocate the engine. Don't do it. There's no point. Up next now is the cabin filter that is buried way underneath. This is obviously on the driver's side, as you can see. The pedals are there. What size is that? Oh dear. Feels like a 5.5. What size is this? 6mm. I don't think I have that size. You know what to do. Right. I don't have a 5.5 socket, but I do have a vice grip and a pliers. See which one works better. I'm just gonna go into the vice grip straight away. Why do they have to make it so difficult? Look here, look at where it is, yeah. Look how big this is. We'll have to fit it in. But it worked, I'm not complaining, it worked. And there, and then just there, you can just about see it. I'm gonna zoom right into it. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Boom. It's out. Move it. This one. Oh, is there another one up top? No. Please. Please, no. Oh god. I've got to do this single-handed. Unfortunately, guys, I haven't got John with me today. Like what I said, he's on a pussy holiday. So he's not here today to help me out. Oh, there isn't a screw for it. Oh, it's literally just stuck. That's all. There's no cabin filter in here. There's no cabin filter in here. Look, look. The reason why, well, this is probably the reason why it doesn't have a cabin filter is because it doesn't have AC. But it's still important to put this in anyway, because when you are in fresh air mode, you know, on the little knob on the AC, not AC, but the way the air travels, when it's coming from the outside, it still needs to travel through this, which means filtering the air coming from the outside. And as you know, if you're on the M25, for example, you're basically inhaling fumes, right? So it's important to fit this in. Fumes, loads of dust and all of that stuff. You don't really want that in your cabin. So yeah, let's just fit this in anyway. Just an important step when fitting cabin filters. It's always important to follow the airflow, purely because you can see here, this is the cotton bit, what filters obviously most of the stuff. And then this side, it doesn't really have that. Usually, right, I would say 90% of the time, the airflow is coming from the front of the car and then into the car. So that's what you should follow. As you can see, the airflow is going to be that way. And if we were to tilt it that way, that means the air is going to go through the back side, the cotton side, and then in here. So let's plug this in. There you have it. Now this vehicle's got cabin filter. My days, that was so fiddly, I can't lie. Why does it have to be like this? It's such a tiny little hole that they've put in there, like tiny hole. So jarring. God, I don't know, well, you guys can see this, but it's up there. Look at it. That's so jarring. Right, here's another shenanigans. Remember I said this was only bought recently, and they said that they've done a full service on it? When I say recently, a month, 2, something like that. And you can see the date stamp on that when it was manufactured, which was 2023, September 2023. And this oil filter here doesn't even look like it's been serviced before it was given to him, because it's starting to collapse. Look, you can see it there. It's starting to collapse, and from the looks of it, he got scammed thinking that his van got serviced. And that's why he came to us, well, he asked us actually through Jimmy to do a diagnostic on the vehicle, because as soon as he rolled it out, pretty much the EGR started like playing up. And the way that they said that they've serviced it, unfortunately they haven't. I will though give them the benefit of the doubt, because filters usually have a shelf life of, I would say, 1 to 2 years. You would expect them to be on the shelf for that long, and that was only made last year, 2023 September. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they at least changed the oil on that. Time to close everything up. Oh, yeah. Time to torque it up. 25 Newton meters, because that's what it says on the manual. There you go. Oi. Renault feels so slow, man. Hopefully everyone's learned something new today, and hopefully I've highlighted some things that may be worth noting when using quality parts. If you notice something that I did wrong or missed something in the video, please make sure to jot it down in the comment section down below. Let's all learn together. So if you enjoyed the content, please make sure to share, like, comment and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.